You want to lead us in the pledge, please? Sure. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Billy. Before we get started, I guess I have a comment so everybody knows. There is a state law or state statute that I cannot require people to sign in at a public meeting. So for those of you that got kicked off of Zoom last time, I apologize for that. Unknowingly, I did that. And so I think it's very nice to know who's in our audience and who we're talking to, but I cannot do that. And same with the people in the audience. However, if you do want to speak to the board, I will, for public record, ask for your name. But otherwise, you're free to sign in however you want to, or not sign in back here. So just want to let everybody know that. The other thing, just a little housekeeping thing. There was part of the minutes that were missing, and in talking to Dana, she's the one that caught it. She gave us a new copy of the minutes, and the yellow is what was added. And she said it would be okay if everybody agreed. We would just continue to put that under consent agenda, and we wouldn't have to pull it out. Everybody agree or not agree, or okay? So then, is that okay? Yeah. You're welcome. So that with that, I would like, I guess, a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Recognitions. Are there any recognitions tonight? Yes, Bryce.
I'd just like to recognize Zach Beam. He got to go and speak to the Wyoming legislature today as representing as the Wyoming Teacher of the Year, advocating for students. I haven't got to view it yet, but it's on YouTube. There's a link. If you go to the legislature's page, you can find any of their session videos there. And so you'd be able to see him speaking there. I have some photos that Lisa Williams from Lusk sent to me, and so I'll get those sent out and shared with the board as well of him up there speaking. But pretty cool opportunity that he got to represent us in that way today.
Go ahead, Brandy.
This one's a little bit late since I wasn't at the last meeting, but I just wanted to recognize Cody Nelson for the work he did on our food drive at the elementary. He spearheaded that, and we were able to gather 1,830 pounds of food for the bread office. And the first grade, our smallest class, won the competition. So kudos to them.
Thank you, Brandy. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two recognitions for me. One would be Rebecca Tacey, who's our para/office/librarian. She tried something new this past month with the readathon. Think like jump rope for heart, but reading books instead of jumping rope. And that was school wide for kids that were interested. We had over 12,000 minutes read, according to what the kids logged. And there is some donations and things involved. And so she actually was able to raise over $900 for the middle school through this too. And it's just something that she kind of found and brought to me, and we tried it out, and kids seemed to like it, and it worked pretty well. So shout out to Rebecca. And then I know Bo's going to talk later again about the mic projects and different things. We've been doing some more amendments. So once again, I just want to recognize Taylor Borgelli. As the guy that's been managing some of these ESSER grants for you guys, I just need you to know that Taylor's doing a lot of the work too. And so I just really kudos to her and all she does to help manage all those things, among many other things that she does. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Any other recognitions? Yes. Go ahead, Billy.
Also, when we first got back from school, Michael and Jillian Sears donated a beef to the school district, and we were able to get that up. I think we got 600 pounds of hamburger between the two of them. Just wanted to thank them.
Should we send a letter thanking them from the board? Okay, okay, thank you.
Did they come get their paper? Okay.
What's that?
Tisdale's.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Any other recognitions? Seeing none, we'll move on. Are there any visitors' comments? Okay. We'll move on to action items, the consent agenda. Is there a motion? Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Yes, Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was curious. I hope it's an easy question to answer with the extra duty for Sally Hoover. I was just curious, was that position advertised or not? Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay.
Bryce, you can maybe help me out with this. I do know in a lot of the coaching, we're struggling with people that have the endorsement. And I think Sally, since she was in there, I would think that that was probably more of a transfer than I probably would an open position, since she was the JV coach and wanted to be the head coach, would be my answer. But without visiting with Mike, I really don't know that.
Did that answer your question, Paul? Sign what anyway? Okay. I just want to make what the consent agenda is, and it's a little history here, and I'm not going to stop anybody on the board talking about it, but no. But what it is the consent agenda is basically routine items that happen, and really they're not debatable by the board because we've all had an opportunity to look at them. If we want to debate them, and that's fine, before we approve the agenda, we pull them out. Okay, we should pull them out and we'll put them under action items or something of that nature. But go ahead, Sean.
No, I was just girl wrestling. I just asking about Shade Bothorpe. Are we looking at hiring a full-time girl wrestling coach? I mean, in the future?
I would say to answer that, the reason this one's late is I think it's based on numbers. So they were trying to figure out exactly if there were numbers. I would say at the current rate, I think it would be wise for the district to look at that. Because it seems to me, well, just in the last tournament that was here, it appears that the girls' wrestling numbers are up more than any other sport that I've seen. So I would say as long as there's interest on our female students, it would be wise, at least in the traveling, to have a male and a female travel.
Okay. Any other questions, I guess, on the consent agenda? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I have no old business. Under new business, we have the second quarter financial report. Angie, would you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you have the second quarter financial report. I wasn't going to go through page by page. I was going to, as I looked at it, it looks like everything's running smoothly. We're under budget on everything. There's been 2 bill runs since this has been calculated. So unless you have any questions, if you've had a chance to look at it. I'm still learning, so.
Okay. I have a question on the food service. It looks like we've spent more money than we've taken in.
Yes.
Is that-
Yes. The last financial report that I reported on, I had said there was a extra $148,379.19 that was carried over. And I'm still trying to figure this out and learn this job. So I need to look into that more, and then I can let you know. But I think because we're not taking in as much, but we still have the money there to cover it. Does that make sense?
Is that because of the
extra
free
money.
lunch that we?
Yes, because we had the extra money from the state during the couple of years of COVID. There was extra money that they gave us for the food, so we didn't have as much cost. So we carried that over, and I think that might be why.
Okay.
I will look into it more, though.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Andy? Could I have a motion to approve the second?
I'll move to approve.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the second quarter financial report. I guess, are there any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Classified resignation, Brad?
Yes, I would recommend to the board, Don Ramsey's resignation as an elementary parapro, but I would also just let the board know that later in the agenda, I have a recommendation. So at this time, I am not asking the board for permission to post that position.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resignation of Don Ramsey as elementary paraprofessional. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. A time increase request?
Yeah, so what we are anticipating is if we could, we would increase Brandy Evenson's hours by 30 minutes a day to cover the food service duties at the elementary to help cover the areas in which Mrs. Ramsey is vacating.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to increase Brandy Everson's wage by time by 30 minutes for the food service at the elementary school. Is there any discussion with that? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The 2023-2024 school calendar.
Yes, and so, Mr. Chair, what I am asking the board on first reading is to accept what we would call the traditional school calendar, the 5-day week per se, for the 23-24 school year. But because I think there is interest, and if the board is interested, then what we would do is we would actually file the paperwork necessary with the Department of Ed and look at the possibilities for an alternative calendar for the 24-25 school year. And the main reason for trying to move this is for us to get staff development in a line for next year.
Jason?
Brad, so if we submit that alternative calendar, does it have to be the exact calendar that we are looking at using or just a sample calendar?
I think the way I interpret it, eventually, yes, you will have to submit the actual request. But I believe the first paperwork that's due, no, second paperwork. Let me ask the calendar expert.
So I do believe. No? Okay. So I do believe the paperwork that needs to be, there it is. It's like, there it is. So I do believe the paperwork, if we would like to seek a 4-day calendar, it's kind of an all-encompassing thing. So you submit the paperwork all together to the state and you have to meet all the requirements. So having 2 community meetings, the actual calendar as is, and some other justification all needs to be in place when we place that application. So deadline is due by June 1st, so that they can look at it and approve it. So we would have now till June 1st to get that done or do the investigation, I would say, of seeking out, is this something that you would like to choose to go forward in the best interest of our students in their learning?
So if
Thank you.
if we approve the traditional calendar for the 23-24 year, we wouldn't have until the following June 1st to put in the application?
So you could have it both ways. If you wanted something in stone before the 24-25 school year, you could submit it early so that everybody could plan forward, or you would have that whole year-ish to plan and discuss and have all those things in place. If that's the will of the board, I wouldn't recommend waiting until June 1st of that year to get that calendar approved, because it puts everything behind the ball. So the earlier, December, January, that we can get a calendar approved, then that's helpful in at least my world. So thank you.
Dana?
For those of you who don't know, the state board gets every single calendar from every single school district and has to.
Okay, sounds good.
And so anything that's slightly different from the very narrow 185 5 days a week, all of that has to be considered by them. But I will say too, in 10 years, we had 2 calendars that we asked for more information on. So they, as a rule, don't deny calendars as long as there's enough hours for kids.
Okay. Could I have a motion to?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve on first reading the 23-24 or 2023-2024 school calendar as a traditional. And I guess we'll look into the alternatives or the 4-day week in the upcoming months. Is there any discussion? Any more discussion, let me say? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. How many readings? We're going to go 3 readings, Brad? Is that what you want to do? Is that what the board wants to do? Because
I just left it open so the board had that discretion.
I didn't think to ask that question. What would the board want to do? Do they want just 2 readings, 3 readings? So we know what to do with the agenda next time.
Or comment.
So do we want to go?
3, don't we?
Do we have time to do 3 to get your? No, be honest with us now.
It's pushing it, honestly,
Well, for the 2020.
for 3.
Yeah, for the 24-25, but not for the 23-24. Just will 2 work? So the next one would be the final reading? Okay, that's the way we'll put it on the agenda the next time. Revisions to policy IJNDC-GBEDB. I think that's a reading assignment.
That's pretty good.
Brad?
So, Mr. Chair, those revisions are highlighted in that policy. So my recommendation would be to approve those revisions as stated in your packet.
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the revisions to policy IJNDC-GBEDB, Internet Accessible Use and Safety Policy, Electronic Communication Systems. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Revisions to policies JBA, discrimination student complaint procedure.
Yeah, so I would make a recommendation for the approval of those, and just for everybody, these are recommendations that come from the Wyoming School Boards Association. So it's nothing that was added internally. It truly is to keep us in compliance with federal law.
To approve.
Been moved and seconded to approve the revisions to policy JBA. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Requests for bid proposals? Brad?
Yes, I would ask the board permission to go out and seek bids for a 75 passenger school bus for the 23-24 school year.
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go out for proposal for bids for a 75 passenger school bus. Does everybody understand how we get buses? Could please explain that a little bit so everybody.
Okay, so and this is a biggie for us. So right now, what we do, or really Angie does, is so it's general fund reimbursable money. So what they really do is they upfront that money, but you spend it, and then whatever you spend, you get in return. Now, what will be probably unique with this is the state only allows the district the amount of money of the lowest bid. So not that Ford or Chevy make a bus, but let's say you really wanted a Chevy bus, but the Ford bus was $15,000 less. You can actually get the bus that you would like, but then that upfront money again is general fund reimbursed. The reason I bring this to your guys' attention is in, I believe, 2027, because of the fire that we had, 8 of those school buses at one time will come up for the recycling process, which could have a huge impact. For example, and I'll just use this. So if we wanted to stay with the Bluebird bus, which traditionally we have over 30 years, but international buses were cheaper, we would have to be able to plan ahead so that we would have that upfront money to continue on with the Bluebird bus. The other thing that is really tricky, as you all know, going on with just about anything that runs, is, the availability, how far out buses are. And then the thing that Troy and his staff really worry about are making sure that they do have replacement parts if something does break. And that gets to be even more and more challenge. And the other thing I'll just put on your radar, and I don't know a lot about this, but I do know there's quite a bit of conversation about, going to the electric school bus. And just in the little bit that I was able to to read. They're considerably more expensive, and probably the biggest concern for us is the limited mileage that we would have with our activities. So we're not, I mean, I'm just putting that on your radar. I'm not recommending that, but those are all things that you're going to have to really pay attention to as a board, and what the state and the Fed's regulations will be. But I'm assuming that we will try to stay with the Bluebird kinds of buses, and we've had fairly good luck. I don't know about availability.
Thank you, Brad. Was there a motion? I don't remember. Yeah, okay. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I guess we're up to reports. And I'm going to start with you, Gabby. Okay, thank you. Angie, did you have anything else?
I just, a reminder that we have the state audit the 13th through the 17th of February, and we had a lot of help getting the information for them. So that's looking good. Also working on the budget request for the 2023-2024 school year. So we're making headway there. That's all I had.
Okay, any questions for Angie? Thank you. Sonia?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I really don't have anything new right now. I'm just kind of here to answer questions and see if you have any concerns or comments, and I will have more of an update next time, though. Lots of stuff is going on between legislature. We're having data meetings going on this week and next couple weeks, and lots of standards work. So with some input coming in from teachers right now with science and math. So anyway, so that's what I have. If you have questions for me.
Any questions? Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Tyler?
Ditto.
Ditto too? Ditto? Everybody's ditto. Well, we're up to you, Brad.
I'm not ditto though.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to you. Yeah. We'll get to you, okay?
Just two things.
Put down here, yeah.
Oh, you want Bo to go next?
Oh, okay, sure, I guess. Go ahead. I didn't realize you.
I promise it won't be as long as last time. So, no, there was just a few things that I wanted to talk to you about. We went ahead and started, we're going to get a couple models in for the high school refresh for you new members. The way that works is we'll go through, let the teacher students use them for a little bit. If they like them, then we'll go out for bid. Goes on the paper website, we bid for a month, and then after that we can order them. So that's kind of where we're at on that. So this one here, I just wanted to get it on your radar and get your opinion on it. Through our security, we have a program called Guest. So what Guest is, you come in and it's for visitors and it scans your license. And then it will also go to the registry. So if you're in the sex registry, it will red flag it and not let you in. The reason I'm asking, is this something we want to do or not? I have the equipment, I can do it. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. If that's something you think we need to do. I don't know. There's a lot behind it. It's and like I said, I don't need any answers now. If you want to think about it, we can put it in for later, but I just wanted to bring it up.
Yes, Brad.
I believe this is a point of clarification, but the software that we buy actually reads off the state database, correct? Okay, just so everybody knows, it's not something that we formulate. It's we would tap into the information that's available from the state.
And I have talked to a few people that, well, they haven't used Guest, but they use one called Raptor. And there was a school district that really did. They got pretty lucky. They had a contractor that worked there for many, many times. And when they finally got there, he scanned it and he was a 2-time offender. So like I said, good and bad. I don't want to infringe on anybody's, rights or anything, but that's why I'm kind of asking you guys what you think. So the soundboard we'll talk about in a little bit. As we went through on the internet use thing, as I'm getting policies ready, I will probably get at the beginning of the summer, I will edit, I think it's eight or six under securities. So what I think we're going to end up probably getting ding dong, especially when we do the audit, is our passwords. We really need to enforce a required set of passwords. Right now, the standard is 8 capital letter symbol. Our default passwords we give everybody has that, but we allow them to change it. So that is something I probably will get in there. I wanted to do it at summertime, so I gave teachers a lot of time to come to grips with it, because my predecessor tried to do it and it was torches and pitchforks. They were coming after him. But I don't think we're going to have a say on it. I bet we're going to get audited and they're going to say you will do this. So so along with that, I also, for the leadership team, I gave them a few other things that I thought that might come up when we get audited. I gave them a social media policy, and then I also gave them a video and surveillance policy. So we're going to comb through that and look at that. And if we like it, maybe move on to Scott and then on to you guys. So just something else that we were working on. So just giving you a heads up. And other than that, that's all I had.
Thank you, Bo. Any questions for Bo? Yes, Jason.
I guess not that I know. Who's doing the security audit then? I assume just a company that.
No, he's actually there we go. He is actually a person out of Cheyenne. He's a white hacker is what he is. So he goes to all the districts and he's kind of a consultant for like some of the big security companies. So they pay him to come hack their system.
Right.
So that is who does our state audits. So a little intimidating, yes.
Any other questions? We can bring up that one idea at our board retreat, and it gives everybody an opportunity to think about that. I mean, I don't know how many times we would have caught somebody, but maybe there's more than, I mean.
Well, it'll open up a little bit. I mean, if you do get a red flag and you tell someone to leave, the secretary's got to figure out something to say. Or hit him with the bear spray, one of the two. I don't know.
Jason?
Brad, you said that was just state, or is that a national database that?
What I could do for the next pack, I'll send you all the information. And like that is from the same company, Bricata, and they have a whole big write up and what registries they go through. They're actually expanding it quite a ways. To me, that's a wormhole. I don't know if we want to go down, but at the base level, that's what it searches.
Okay, thank you, Bo.
I think we should split up. Why? I want to meet new people who need me. Meet new people? You're my left kidney. You only need one of me, man, and you have 2. There are plenty of people out there who are dying because they don't have one. Really? You'll be giving the gift of life. I could be a hero. Yeah, it's all win-win up here, buddy. Why don't you go and save a life, pal? You're doing the right thing.
Any board reports? One of the things we need to do, and I'll just report on this, Billy cannot be available for the EWC all the time. And so is there any board members that would like to serve on that board? I do not know what days they meet. I don't know. It's during the day, but
That one was about, and I think their next meeting is May 1st.
May 10th.
Right. It's not confident.
At 12:30 or 1:30 was about the
Yeah,
time.
it was midday, if I remember correctly.
12:30 to 1.
and is there any board member that would like to do that? I guess. We do need a representative there. We sure do. I mean, that's something. I don't know.
I think it's at their discretion, but I thought it was one a semester kind of a deal. But what also they have one that's a summer retreat. And then I believe the biggest issue right now is, for example, Kim's program is one of the larger student use programs. But if you look at where it is budget wise, they don't line up. So with the new president coming on, I know one of the things that Kim would like us to try to do a better job with is to see if they could realign that budget, because if not, dual credit classes are going to almost become impossible, and even concurrent classes at the college level for high school kids to get college credit is going to be a struggle because the budget really is out of whack.
So it's approximately 4 to 5 meetings a year. Is that right?
I know there's at least 2. No matter what happens.
It's only 1 meeting a month. Don't, yeah. You want to do it? Want to try it?
I can't commit to that. I need to spend more time with my mom all the time, so.
Okay.
I really can't commit to that right now, or I would.
You're already hooked, aren't you, Jason? Paul, could you?
With my job,
Tough time, yeah. Okay.
Well, I was surprised how many people really were joining on, driving down the road on their cell phones.
Sean, would there be any way for you?
Thinking. Figure where I can fit it in at.
I could do it, but I can't do it May 10th.
I can cover your May 10th.
Okay.
Or Angie, one of those, we were both at the last one.
I'll be in.
So I guess it takes you off the hook, Sean, if you.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Jamie, you're up. I guess that was up later on. I didn't read, sorry. Any other reports from the board? Okay, discussion items. Board policies BDDA, BDDA-E and BDDC, which have to do with basically the agenda and publishing of the agenda. Is there any questions on that one? Concerns? Things that need to be rewritten? Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. The first graders will be here next time to read to us too. I missed that on future agenda items. I skipped all the future. What's that? Okay, yeah. Allison is, sorry, I skipped that whole thing. Allison is our legal counsel, and she'll be here. If you have any questions for her that she could prepare for prior, please get a hold of Brad or CeeLo and let them know. one of the things I would ask that she talks about is discrimination. I think that's the big one, but and that can go a lot. That's pretty broad. But if you have anything that you would like for her to answer or give a little report on, she will give us a report. Anything else for future agenda items? Yes, sir.
I just, for future agendas, I would like, Mr. Chair, I'd like to look at coaches' salaries. Also too, I would like to invite law enforcement.
Invite the new chief.
The new chief, also too, I got reached out to this afternoon by one of the deputies that is really interested in getting more involved with our schools. So.
Okay. Yes.
So, I mean, we can openly discuss salaries at any time, but generally we try to do that around the budget time. If you're going to look at the increase, so then we can put all the numbers together, but I mean, we can have it sooner than later as well.
Yeah, I didn't know where we wanted to put that in at. I just, I wanted to look at it just so that Newcastle can be close enough to the other schools in Wyoming, because it seems like we might be a little bit lower than like Torrington and Wheatland like that. So maybe you know more than I
So
do.
just so, I mean, to let everybody know, so, and I think that one thing that is a little bit different is there are several districts in our conference that tie the coaching salary to a percentage of their teaching wage. And we've always stayed away from that, ideally because of the ability to try to keep the budget in perspective. And so I don't know exactly where those other schools are, but the ADs can gather that information. But generally, we look at that. It works a little bit better in the budget process. Earlier this year, we looked at, okay, there were two areas. We looked at maintenance, skilled maintenance, and we changed that pay scale sort of midway, and transportation. And it did help us in transportation, but it has not actually given us any more applicant pool, even with the increase. But yeah, I mean, if it's a money issue, maintenance is not. No. So, but yeah, we can definitely entertain that, and see how that all works out. And I'll have the ADs sort of present what those other schools our size are doing.
Okay.
I'll just to add to that a little bit. I'm just thinking future for coaches later on down the line. I do know, I can't speak for everybody, but to get a coach to come in, I just have a feeling we might be losing some here in the next 4 years. And I just want us to be competitive with other schools. That's just my concern.
Thank you, Sean. Any other future agenda item? Okay. Now we'll move on to board policies. You all received them in the packet, right? Or an email. And we can discuss these more at a board retreat too. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. We already did the EWC BOCES representative. We're back to you, Bo, for a bid quote on board microphones.
Did everyone get that? Okay. So we did get approved to use ARP money. So, really, I mean, it being under 25, I could call him tonight and get stuff ordered if that's the direction we want to go in.
Well, where this is under discussion items,
Do we?
I don't want to ask for a motion. We can put it under action items for the next meeting.
Okay.
If that's okay with the board, unless, I mean, you guys can sure move to approve it, but I think does that come with the cameras that you were going to put up too?
No, that one doesn't. And the reason that one's not on there is because the ones that he had in mind are discontinued. So he wants to work some stuff out and try some stuff before he sells it to us. I still think we plan on getting it here with the idea that it'll be ready and everything will be in by summer for the summer meetings. Because matter of fact, if we want to even get rid of that, I have a place for that to go to. So in a classroom where it belongs.
Okay. Do we want to put it on the action items for next time? Okay. We will do that. And the next one is a board retreat. I know for the newly elected members, it's kind of quick for some of this, but I think it's important that we have a board retreat. I don't know when. It'd be best to have it in, well, sooner than later, but February or March. I know that I'm going to be hooked up in April and May. I can tell you that right now.
Have to get together and hang out.
Yeah, we're going to have to. You're buying lunch.
I'm going to tell you right now, poorly named. Sorry, Mr. Chair. Give me the mic. No.
So, and if we want to have one, I mean, think of some dates. I don't know exactly what you want to discuss at the board retreat. One of the things I would like to go through is open meetings. Talk to somebody that is very good with that. He would probably have to Zoom it, but anyway, he could give us a 30 to 45 minute talk on open meetings, open meeting laws and what's going on. That's one of the things that I would like to see. If there's any, yes, Anna?
Mr. Chairman, whenever we do it, I think it would be appropriate to discuss whatever legislation has possibly passed third reading and been signed or whatever's up, and have a discussion about what's going on with that. Like right now, there's some stuff that removes a bunch of protections from people who use materials in the line of their work, from getting sued or arrested, and there's all kinds of interesting bills. But I think at the retreat would be a good time to get an update on all those.
Okay. Do we want to have any kind of board training? Are you interested in that? Yeah. Okay.
You guys think that too. Yeah, that's cool.
If we could, Brad, if you would contact WSBA and see what kind of, I guess, training that they provide, whether we want to go through well, it wasn't, I don't remember.
I think it was 2 hours, wasn't it?
But I want to get more down to the basics and what he talked about. I don't think that was. But see what they have, if you would, and let everybody know that personally, I'd like everybody to go through leadership governance. I don't know if they've changed the name since. I think I'm the only one on the board that went through that process. But it really is a good process. And you have the opportunity to learn a lot there. But anyway, if you would do that, Brad, CeeLo. Anything else? And if you think of anything that you would like at the board retreat, along with the date, and what Sean's gonna buy for lunch or whatever, cupcakes or whatever. Um, let CeeLo or Brad know and they can get it out to everybody. If there's dates that will not work, and I don't know when WSBA, when they can get here either.
Are you thinking in the month of February or what do you think?
February or March, I can go either.
Evening?
It depends on what we want, I guess. We can discuss it more at the next meeting.
Do you know what kind of training is available that week?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just something we need to do. And some of it might just be ad lib. I don't know. Could be. Okay. We'll move on to the climate survey. Did everybody have an opportunity to look at what the WSBA offers, and do they want to go with something like that? And if so, do we want to have them collect the data and furnish the results? Or do we want to collect the data? Do we need it, since how we just basically kind of had one here not too long ago at this point? Don't all speak at once. Yes, Jason.
I guess from the past to now, I guess for me, it's things I've heard since I've been on the board and how that differs from what those surveys say. I think have found it best just to get out and talk to people. So, I mean, of course, if we want to put out a survey, I'm in favor of that, but I'm just saying for the cost and all that, I think it's just better to get out, beat the streets and talk to our people.
Billy?
Kind of piggyback out Jason, what he said. If you guys remember that survey that came out, new members probably don't remember it, but a lot of the comments from the teachers was seeing us more in the school district, in the classrooms, in the schools and stuff like that. I kind of agree with Jason. I think that's a lot of money to be spending. I think if we become more visible and more approachable and stuff like that, I think that's probably a better gauge than some survey.
Okay. Well, one of the things we do in March, we do have the parent teachers conferences, and we will be taking a little survey on the 4-day week there. I don't know how we want to label that, but so that not only staff, but parents or anybody that's interested could put a ballot in a box or whatever they're in favor of. But that also gives the board members an opportunity to speak to a lot of people at that point in time. And I agree, Billy, we should get out and walk through the school. So I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Anybody else? So I'm kind, yes.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. One thing I would say is that it's a lot easier for some people to do that than others. Others are at work the entire time school's in session. So they're going to miss out as board members. And the other thing is that there are a lot of people who I think are more apt to think through a question like about their work environment, give you an open and honest answer, and they are not going to walk up to you in the grocery store and say the same thing. So I think it gives people who are introverts or a little shy a pretty safe place to say how they feel too. I think then with the survey results, everyone on the board, everyone in leadership hears the same thing. It's not, well, so-and-so told me this, and then, well, who was that? Well, I don't know if I should tell you, there's a lot of difference between collecting data and information and just sort of anecdotal evidence. So I guess what I'm saying is I would be in favor of doing a survey.
Okay. Well, I'll just go down the line. Paul? Oh, sorry, I didn't see her. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tina.
I mean, I'm okay with I know, knock myself out here. I'm okay as far as surveys go or whatever, but to pay $2,500 for this seems, I'm with Jason and Billy. I mean, I just don't know that that's being a good steward of our money. I think in terms of surveys, I think people, they want to see something being done about a survey rather than just send out another survey for me to take time to fill out of my day that I'm already busy in. And so for me, I'm not sure that we need another survey, especially this year, since we just got the results back not 2 months ago. But I also am not necessarily in favor of spending that kind of money for one.
Okay. Thank you, Tina. Well, I'll go down this line now, Paul. Is that okay? Joe, do you have any?
How were surveys conducted in the past? Like who conducted the survey and how was the data compiled? I mean, was it a cost in the past compared to now?
It was done within the school. And I don't know who you put it all together, CeeLo, or did the schools each?
And it goes through like a survey monkey. So, if I remember correctly, the last one we did was
Survey Monkey, and we asked just the questions, and then they submitted it, and it didn't have no names or anything. When I got it, it had but it didn't say which building, nothing. So I mean, it is confidential. I suppose somebody could go behind the scenes, not because I'm not tech, I could never do that, but I mean, but it's Survey Monkey that did it.
I would agree with the survey. I like the idea of the survey. It's what do we do with the information? How do we act upon the information is my concern, because I don't want to do surveys and show all these people that we care but have no action behind it is my concern with that.
Okay. Dana?
Is it working?
Yep.
I'm okay with the survey. We did just complete the one, and I don't know if we really answered any questions or not. And I'm with Tina. I'm not real happy with having to pay for it when we've already done it just recently. I do like being at the schools during parent teachers conferences and encouraging them to fill out the surveys while we're there. I think that's a good thing.
Sean?
Do we have the copies of the surveys?
Yes.
For the new board members to look at?
We can get those.
I mean, because I don't know.
We can get those to you. Yes.
Figure out here survey and everything. I'm not a real firm believer of surveys. I've seen them not work in the past for at job sites and stuff like that. I say if people can't confront you face to face, and I understand there's people that can't, but if they have a big enough issue, I feel face to face or come to the board and visit with it. That's how I feel. So.
Okay. Paul?
Jason putting his hand up.
No, you haven't spoke yet, so I'm giving you the opportunity.
So the company I work for now does surveys, and I tell everybody a survey is great. More information is better than less, but you have to be honest with it. And I know for a fact when the last survey came out, there were teachers and staff members that were scared because it was in-house. And I understand the whole rotation thing. When I was a teacher, we had a survey and it was completely anonymous until the survey results came in. And then they had people stomp down and say, who said this? The IT guy said, it's anonymous. We can't find out. We want to know. That kind of fear is what bothers people about giving out surveys. So if we're going to pay the state to do it, I don't like the idea of paying money either. I think we should be able to do it in-house, in district. There's no reason why all of us can't talk to each other. But if they're still afraid that somehow it's going to come back on them, even with the technological buffer, we're not getting honest answers. So we can't fix problems if we don't have the right answers. So I say as a board, we need to go and visit with people, talk to them, no judgment. It needs to be a safe and confidential conversation. And that's like with my company. Obviously, it's a private company. They absolutely 100% say you have to be honest. It's not always easy, but we can't fix the problem if we don't know where the problem's at. So if we're going to do another survey, I completely understand doing it through a third party, because then there is no chance somebody can come in and say, who said this? It's out of house. But if we take what we have gotten so far, if we all get the answers like Sean said, and then we use that to actually visit with the people that we're here to represent, I think we could actually do a lot of good with it.
Okay. Well, one of the things we can provide, especially to the new members, is the survey that we took, and we'll get you that information, and we can discuss this climate survey the next meeting. There's no reason that we can't do that. I know, like I say, parent teachers is coming up, and I agree. I think walking through the schools is one of the best ways to do it. It really is, and just having that conversation, that honest conversation. But so what we'll do, we'll just put that on the next agenda for discussion, and hopefully you guys get the surveys or the results of the survey, and then we can go from there. Is that okay with everybody? Okay. One of the things that I guess that wasn't on here, but along with surveys, was the survey of the board. We all received the board self-evaluation. Now we can do that and bring it up at the board retreat and go through that too, if you want to, or we don't have to. That's not something that's going to cost. That's something we keep ourselves and we just talk about it. Is that what you want to do? Okay. We'll just do that evaluation there for the board. Does anybody need a break? Yes, Jason.
I do have a question. It falls back under the coaching, and maybe I should have said something back then.
Well, Jason, can we wait until we discuss it next time? The coaching?
Okay.
Because we're going to put it on the agenda next time for discussion. Okay. Does anybody need a break? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. Then can I have a motion for an executive session for a student matter under WS 16-4-405IX? Been moved and seconded to go into executive session for a student issue. to order. Jason, you had something for future agenda items
Yes.
you would like?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if, CeeLo, if we could add, school safety, to our, I'm okay doing it at the board retreat.
Okay, I got that down for that.
Okay, yeah, or what, I mean, however we want to, I just like to bring that up at some point to discuss that. Whether we do it next meeting to clarify some things or do a board retreat and then after that we can
okay,
discuss or clarify some things.
Okay. Did you want an executive session?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, and then if we could add executive session to discuss personnel.
That's the next one.
Yes. Anything else? Meeting adjourned.